Around like 3 years ago, I was just starting to get into like dating, meeting girls, and exploring myself and exploring my lower parts. And I had gotten a match after swiping for weeks on end. This girl who was like over like 100 kilometers away from me, and I commuted that far after texting every day for like 3 weeks. I commuted all the way to see her, and we got to see each other. We saw each other twice while I was in the city that she lived in, and the second time we experienced some fun times together. I can't get very descriptive, unfortunately, otherwise this video will get taken down, but we jiggled each other's jiggly parts. Nothing crazy happened, but we had a little bit of fun, and I busted a nut. And after I busted that nut, I had that like clarity moment, and I was like, what am I doing? Why did I commute this far to like see this girl? Like this, and I felt just like, I felt like crap. Like I felt so like ashamed of myself. I felt regret. I didn't feel proud of myself at all. I just felt like I wasted so much time. Like so much time and energy over like nothing. Like I learned nothing. I didn't grow. I just became like worse. That's how I felt. Like I just became worse in that 1 month period. So I was so frustrated, man. Like, cause it's like, I don't know how to meet women. I don't know how, I'm so socially anxious. I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to like, that was when I was like halfway through my reboot. I'm trying to like finish my reboot and stuff. And it's like, I'm just annoyed. Like I'm annoyed. I don't know what to do anymore. And I kind of got into, what guys and I like to call the rut. And the rut is kind of like, it's kind of like a ditch, or if you will, even like this little ditch swamp thing right here. It's kind of like a rut, but not really. But what I mean by a rut is that like it's a deep depressive state. It's a temporary depressive state, or where you just feel so down on yourself, so hopeless and so lost, but you can't get out of it. And that's what the rut is. Like there is no route out like that you can at least perceive, and it literally feels like you're stuck and there's nothing that can be done. And I was in a rut then. Like I felt stuck. I felt like just annoyed and angry, frustrated. And there's many reasons why you'll be in a rut. There is no like condition where it's like this situation is the only time you'll enter the rut. It's like, no, there's many situations that take you there. So personally for me, like I had to change. I had to find a way to like stop that. And I started just facing my fears. I started just like realizing that I accepted my insecurities and my flaws, and I accepted that I was in the rut. You have to accept and bring it into your awareness in order to do something about it. The doctor can't fix something that he doesn't know. The doctor always diagnoses you first when you go to a clinic. He's like, okay, like check your heart rate. Check here, check this, breathe for me. Let's see if there's any hindrances in breathing. The doctor's trying to diagnose what the hell is going on with you. And we have to do the same. We have to be our own doctors in these situations and like acknowledge what's actually happening. Otherwise, if you don't, it's not gonna change. You're gonna stay in that rut, and it only gets deeper and deeper and deeper and bigger. And life is cyclical, especially like in terms of how old you may be. Like, and when I say cyclical, I mean like every year you got to go back to school. Every year there's something you got to do. You got to go to work. You got to do this. You have errands to take care of. You have responsibilities, and those things in and of themselves they don't really change that rut. You know what I mean? Like if you don't get out of that rut, you now have to try and go to school and do all these responsibilities and tasks while in that emotional state. And it's no one's job to come and put a ladder down for you to get you out. It's your responsibility to do that. And I feel like for most of us, what takes us there and what might be taking you there is your dissatisfaction with yourself and how angry you are in terms of like, oh, like this reboot, and just constantly watching so much nonsense relapsing over and over and over and over and over, just being so frustrated and feeling like an incel that like girls just don't like you and you can't do anything about it. It gets you in a dark place, man. Like I did that video where this dude was like just commenting all over YouTube, and he's like, oh, like I hope all the like my 2019 goal is to hope that all the other years just end as soon as possible. He was in a rut. Thankfully not anymore, but he was in a rut. Like, And you may not even realize it until someone like kind of like slaps you in the face or throws cold water at you, metaphorically. And something has to be done. Okay, something has to be done. And this is the thing, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, look, like, oh, there's these 3 easy steps. There's no magic pill. It's a process for everybody. It's so unique, and it's not something I can just wrap up in a 10-minute video. So my biggest tip here for you is be aware, okay? Build the awareness and acknowledge your pains and accept them, because that's step 0. Like, that's where you start. That's the hardest thing. They always say the hardest thing, especially like big like tasks with homework. I always remember like the most difficult thing was opening up my math book and like just start jotting. Once I started, it was so much easier, because I was like, wait, this isn't as painful as I thought it would be. Like, this isn't as hard as I expected it to be. You know, it's the same thing with this. Like, you just have to start and acknowledge it and start talking to yourself. Okay, like that is the most basic thing that you can do that can be applied universally, regardless of what or why you are in the rut. But that being said, if this is something that you've been dealing with and it's hurting a lot and you want to say like bye-bye to it as soon as possible, I have like really good news for you. And I went ahead, you know, I've been talking to my team a bit, and we're like, let's open up the 3-part training series again, because school's literally around the corner in no time. Summer's going like this. Like, we're shocked. Guys and I were like, oh my God, like, we're halfway through summer already. Like, are you serious? Things are going by like boom, 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 boom. Before you know it, you're gonna be back in school, and you don't want to be the same old basic mediocre self that you've been loafing around and being complacent with. You want to improve yourself. You want to get out of the rut. You want to live up to your best self. You know, this morning I was saying a prayer asking God to help me align myself with my greatest self. Like, you want to become the most powerful you. And the only way that happens is with like diligence and effort and actually doing it and trying to become something that, you know, you deserve to be, instead of just like wasting time. So the 3-part training series is open. It's long. It's like 3 hours long. It's a lot more in depth, and I talk a lot more freely. You know, I like to keep it off YouTube because I can just be myself and I can do whatever I want with it. It's just like, that's my style of content. So what you can do, it's down in the description. It's only gonna be up, I don't know, you don't have much time. I don't keep it up forever, because I don't like rewarding lazy people. I don't want to reward people who are just gonna loaf around. So it's down in the description. Basically gonna take you from A to Z in terms of like saying goodbye to your porn addiction, saying goodbye to FAP addiction. I'm basically gonna give you a blueprint and show you the steps I took personally to overcome that and overcome like some of like my most crippling anxieties and insecurities. So I've packaged this into 3 videos for you. It's free. I'm not gonna charge you a penny for it. Down in the description, you can sign up in like 20 seconds. It's quick, it's super simple, and I'll shoot you the following videos via email. So that's everything I have for you. Remember, it's not gonna be up forever. Check the description. I'll see you next time. Peace out.
Pull up in a waist, breaking chains, we insane, yo. I just lost my name from the pain in my brain, yo. I can't feel my bass, I can't feel my face. Changing up my ways, now it's time to switch a lane, yo. Long nose like Pinocchio, telling lies, dirty odds for show. Spending nights gripping grain take foe, selling dimes for the guas that mo. You've been acting so foolish, call you Peter Pan, cause you drooling like Cupid. You won't understand what it took to get the food dish. Stacking all my bands in my hands, I'm Jewish. Man, I dip my fucking hands in a fountain, so much fucking water dripping down from the mountain. Mire in a stat like a body, it's astounding. Talk a lot of shit, me and Daniel ain't about it, nah. I'm never gonna give up, cause my mama never got to act on her own ambitions, and to show me how to find my